Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. It is Monday night, and I decided to go live because last week I didn't go live at all. I didn't go live the entire week, and I realized that I hadn't gone live when I went to go do the Ready, Set, Go preview show last night and realized that the previous live show was the previous Ready, Set, Go live show from the week before. So I wanted to make up for lost time by coming back tonight to hang out with you guys and to spend a little bit of time in this no agenda chat. I do have a couple of things that I will share with you guys that I shared with folks over on Patreon earlier today. But we're going to share some things with you guys today. And we're going to basically talk about whatever comes to mind, whatever might be top of mind for you guys tonight. We are going to talk about it. That is what the no agenda chat is. You guys basically shape the conversation. So who knows what's going to happen? So let me say hello to some comic book soldiers that have joined me here in the room. Tina's in the house. Matt Wood is here. Steve is here. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling down through the names. Scrolling. Collecto6 is in the house. Quest Dog is here. Greek Freak is here. Master Blaster. How you doing, brother? Thank you for sending me that Instagram message a short while ago. Matthew is in the house. Matthew Marlin. High Voltage Mark is here. My man, Randy Rusnake is in the house. The Simply Incredible podcast is here. It is good to see all of you guys. You like this one? So check it out. Check it out, my man Matt. Just noticed we went with the military green for the comic Swoja. Went with the military. I love military green, so I had to do this one. As Matt kind of identified, this was something that was discussed on the community tab about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago or something like that. I lose track of time. So, Tommy, how you doing, my man? About to have a movie night. It's all good, brother. It is all good. L. Smith is in the house. Nicholas, how you doing? Bearded comic collector, how you doing, brother? You're color coordinated. No, look, kind of navy. The wall is actually a color gray. And I don't know what shade of gray it is. It is a shade of gray. But then this shirt is military green because it's comic soldiers. I probably should have changed my watch to one of my military watches. But about a week and a half ago, there was someone in a chat that made a request of me saying that their wife or somebody wanted one of the tank tops. So I put up a post on the community tab and I was like, who wants a tank top? All right, if I do this, who wants a tank top? And it was like a 45-50 split. There was some kind of split. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was somewhat even. And I want to say that there were some 70 some odd people that actually participated in the poll. So I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on some shirts. I decided to pull the trigger and I basically ordered these right here. So you guys may have seen these before. This is the comic Swoja tank. This is the muscle tank that I've been trying out for the past couple of months. This is up on the site right now. This thing comes in a couple of different sizes. Quantities are limited for like the small and medium. The tank runs large. It runs large. So I wear an extra large t-shirt. In the tank, I go down to a large, but these are on the site right now, as are the green comic soldier. I think there are only a total of 4 or 5 of these t-shirts on there, and then there are more of these available. So if you guys are interested in that, head over to the website RegieCollects.com and check it out. Wait a minute, what was that? Reggie, that 1.5 I was telling you about got a deal done and going to trade up to a 4.5. Man, you cannot beat that. Congrats on that, brother. Congrats on that. Marine green is what Ramos says. My man Scott is the designer. Scott actually did this design for me, the comic soldiers. I sent him a message a couple of hours ago. I was like, Scott, can you do a quick mock-up for me of the t-shirt? Or the tank, he slapped it together real quick for me and actually replaced it on the website. So that's up there right now. So shout out to you, brother. I definitely appreciate you. Patrick is in the house. How you going, brother? Lots of packages in the Oh yeah. Yeah, man. So what was crazy? I was here in the comic book room. I was doing something. The doorbell rings. And my wife says it must be the mail person. So I go to the door. Outside the door, there is probably a 4-foot stack of boxes at the door. And I look at my wife. She looks at me. I said, "What'd you order?" She said, "That's not all me." So then I grabbed the stack. I grabbed the stack and I walked in the house with the stack. I set the stack down and I began to parse the boxes out. Sure enough, there were 4 for me, 4 for her. So, so those are my four packages right there. One of them, the one in the middle, is actually an A-OK for my man Chuck. My man Chuck hooked me up with a really awesome A-OK. You guys will probably see that video maybe in maybe 2 weeks or so. I have to unbox that. I'm gonna do a video on that. That's gonna be cool. The rest of that stuff, yeah, you'll see that. Stay tuned for the video. Are there any keys? There's one. There's one good key back there. Then there's just a couple of other things that just make me happy. Mr. Comic 89, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. What is this? Looks like you're going to have more comic money, Reggie. I don't know what that was in relation to, but I will take more comic book money any day. Any day that there is comic book money, I will take it. Let me just tell you. The Gibbon loves the new comic room. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Scrolling down through the names, seeing what you guys are talking about. Again, this is no agenda chat, so we will talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. Throw it up in all caps. It'll actually help me to actually see it. So, and then we'll dig into it. What is this? L. Smith says, picked up a Red Sonja #1, volume 1 for a 9.8 for $20 under Evan. Man, that's not bad at all, brother. Anytime you can find a book anytime you can find a book that is under FMV, man, I say, you know, if it's a book you want, pull the trigger, especially at 9.8. That's actually under FMV. That is not a bad deal. I actually picked up a key recently, and you guys will actually hear a little bit about the tease for this key probably next week, and then you'll probably actually see the key, which is behind me, the week after. But I'm going to share with you guys at some point here soon what part of my strategy is for a couple of things. So stay tuned for that, because it could be pretty cool. Pile of packages and fingerprint. Brother, my wife will order some stuff up in a heartbeat, my man. But, you know, she has her little hobby or whatever that kind of churns cash. And then she takes that cash and she spends it, and it recycles. And it's like, hey, do what you want to do, because I do the same thing with comics. And so we just have a really good time with it. You know, Dante says, love your channel. A lot of great info on comics for a new. Hey, brother, that's what this channel is all about, man. My channel is all about a couple of things. One, first and foremost, having fun. Right? It's comics. We should be having some fun. So I spend a lot of time trying to have some fun and laugh and, you know, give people an escape to just have a good time, put a little space in their day. But a big part of the channel is about making sure that I'm helping make us all smarter. And it doesn't matter whether we are new collectors, newly returning to the hobby, or seasoned collectors. I think that there is always things that we can learn, and sometimes we can learn from one another. And so that's what the channel is about kind of sharing some information, giving people things to think about, things to consider, and allow them to kind of make some decisions. So, but there's a lot of really good content, I think, here for people that are new to the channel or new to the hobby. You know, if you're not up on all the latest lingo, if you search Reggie Collects Lingo, you can actually find a 6-part series on lingo and terminology with examples. It was actually one of the very first series that I kind of put together. If you're into cleaning and pressing books, there's a 6-part series that's on that. If you want to set up your comic book room, if you search for Reggie Collects tour, you can actually see how I've kind of set up my comic book room and the things that I use to hang stuff on the wall. If you want to learn how to bag and board and how I store my comics, there is a little something for everybody. And all you have to do is to go find the playlist, or if you search Reggie Collects and fill in the blank, you will probably find a video on something. So what is this? Waiting for the video when I unbox action. Bro, that'll be dope. That'll be dope. Sign me up for some of that action, you know, sign me up. I do have a video here on the channel. If you want to see some action comics, you can search for Reggie Collects Nerdy Girl, and you can see about $1 million worth of action comics here on the channel. Nerdy Girl was here, and she had 10 comics in front of her, valued at roughly $1 million. Yeah. Let me scroll down. Super chat just came in. I want to acknowledge that before it goes away. Just a Rican and his comics is in the house. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I definitely appreciate you. I'm gonna have to swing by the channel because I think you released a couple of videos recently that I want to kind of check out. So I may have to do that. If you guys don't know about my man Just a Rican, Rod, you definitely want to check him out for certain. Let me scroll back up because I lost a lot of words. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this right here. Word on the street is that Marvel could buy DC. Good or bad for comics? What I will say is this. It is vitally important that we trust but verify the news, right? I struggle with any news outlet that says what was the term? There was a term that was actually used, claimed. It is claimed that it is said that with no attributions. There are no citations. There are no statements that are being attributed to it. It is claimed that it is rumored that it is mentioned. Citing YouTubers is not the way to actually cite credible sources. I'm sorry. Not a criticism of any YouTuber that was actually mentioned. I struggle with anything that calls itself a news outlet that references itself as a source, right? As a journalism school of C major that has been published in multiple publications around the world, proper citation and referencing to credible sources is vital to journalism and referencing oneself. Regie said that it is all good, says Regie. That is not the way to do it. So I do not believe the rumors. I will not believe the rumors of any of this stuff until I actually see something from a reputable organization and or see some statements that actually come from these organizations themselves. Do not believe the hype the same way that there was all of this confusion around COPPA and all the clickbait around COPPA. This is, in my opinion, a lot of clickbait until some official statements are actually coming out or until some statements are actually made from credible news services. I do not believe it. Do not believe it. I hope that Marvel and DC never combine. Competition brings out the best creativity. Completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. But yeah, allegedly, says Scott, it is rumored that these things could happen. Scrolling up through some of the comments, Warner Brothers is not going to sell. Yeah, man, I struggle with it. I really do. I really do. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Nerdy Girl is always flexing. Man, she has so much amazing stuff. It is really, really unbelievable. You know, totally rearranged my thinking on the condition of comics for the better, I think, thanks to Regie. Yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing. Jerry, Bearded Comic Collector, is a seasoned comic guy. He's a seasoned comic guy. And, you know, if I can get anyone, regardless of their experience level, to think a little bit differently because of something that I've said, I consider that a win. And what I mean by that is that, and you'll hear this in an upcoming video, I am not an expert. I'm not an expert, but what I try to do is to ask smart questions of smart people, and I try to give people things to think about and things to noodle and things to consider by asking questions, right? And I think that if I can create space for smart people to ask themselves questions, they will arrive at an answer that might be different from my answer, but it is an answer that will actually make sense for them. And it is an answer that might actually take them down a slightly different path, a completely different path, or maybe even confirm some things that they've already been doing. And in all of those cases, I consider that a win. If I can get a smart person to stop and think for a couple of moments, that is a win in my book. But, you know, I'm a big fan of saying never start a sentence with Regie said. because I want people to think for themselves. I want people to make informed decisions for themselves, to ask themselves provocative questions, because I'm not an expert, right? I'm not an expert. I am a guy that loves comics, loves talking about comics, has a camera and a microphone, right? I am just like you guys. And so as a fan of comics, as a friend of comics, I just want us all to stop and think and to be a little bit smarter about some of the things that we're doing. So what is this? Got my first full run today from eBay. Just started collecting in November. Congrats on that, Micah. Congrats, man. That is awesome. Bag and board with blue. Matt Wood says, I do learn so much about comics from this channel. I've been collecting for a while now. And man, here's the thing. And again, you will hear about this in a video coming up. You know, I am a big fan of, as much as I think I know about comics, I find that there are people that know a lot more about comics every single time. Every time I think, I'm like, I think I got this. I meet somebody and I'm like, yeah, you win, you know, because this hobby that we have chosen to participate in is a very broad hobby. There is a lot of depth here when you're talking about genres or publishers or decades or creators or whatever it is a broad hobby. And unless you do this thing like full time and for years and years and years, I personally feel like I'm still learning. I personally feel like I'm still learning, you know? And so I think if we can all, and again, this is me talking, I think if we can all kind of maintain that spirit of like a learner's mindset, I don't think that that's a bad thing, right? I really don't think that that's a bad thing. So let me scroll down to the bottom because I actually missed some stuff here. What is this? Bought a almost complete Superior Spider-Man lot from eBay yesterday. Bro, I'm telling you right now, Superior Spider-Man is really, really good. It is a really, really good run that I thoroughly enjoy. Doc Ock makes for an incredible Spider-Man. It is an appropriately named comic, Superior Spider-Man, because he was in many ways superior to Spider-Man, to Peter Parker. But he learned some very, very valuable lessons, Doc Ock did. If you guys haven't read this story, it is worth a read. Get it digitally. Find it in a dollar bin if you can find it. It is a really good read. So Hillbilly Comics, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Ron, thank you for stopping by. I think he's already bounced out of here, but Ron, thank you for stopping by and hanging out just a little bit. What is this? Bearded Comics says, I binge watched Lock and Key last week and really liked it. First season, bro, it's really good. This is a really great period in comics for us. You know what I'm saying? There are so many great programs on TV, on these streaming services. It is a really wonderful time to be a collector and to be in this hobby. So scrolling up through what you guys are talking about, good statements. So there's a question here from Tim in regards to signatures. Is it smart to have voice actors sign iconic books, CGC signature series? Seems seen it, but if it's so, I would not. I think a lot of times, so much of this hobby is honestly personal preference, right? And so I think if someone is really into that particular movie, they're into that actor, I think that they should do it. I think that people by and large should do whatever it is that makes them happy, right? Because this is, after all, a hobby about funny pages, right? So let's not get too serious, right? I think people should have fun with their hobby. And if they want to pay $50, $25, whatever it is to get that signature from that person on that comic, get it graded, I say go for it. Personally, I would not. That is my preference. I try to, if I get a signature, I want to get a signature from somebody I like, and I want to get a signature from a person on a book that they actually had something to do with it. To me, that is where it actually makes sense, right? But I haven't always abided by that. There are always exceptions and deviations and that kind of stuff, and that's why I started with do what makes you happy, you know? But again, I would not necessarily do that. Those lines are too long. I don't like lines either. So, have I ever Hey man, not a common question, but have you ever wanted to quit a job? Yes, I have wanted to quit a job. Life is too short to work at miserable companies, and I unfortunately have worked at two that I did not enjoy. Yes, sometimes there is not enough money in the world to make you stay someplace that is not a good environment for you. It makes you not a good person. At least that was my case. And it made my home life suffer, which is never a good case. I learned a long time ago that work is what I do. It is not who I am. And I love my job and I'm actually really good at it. Right. But yeah, I've wanted to quit jobs before and sometimes I've actually done it. Right. Yeah. Scrolling, we're going to scroll down to the bottom here and see what this is. So Brian Cox will be at the Philly Con in April, and I thought it might be neat to have him sign God Loves Man Kills as he played. I say go for it. Allison, I say go for it. If that's what floats your boat, I say go for it, right? God Loves Man Kills, excellent book. Absolutely love it. And I say if you want to get his signature on that book, get it because you probably will not regret it. Just make sure you think about it before you do it. Scrolling, what is this? I'm getting Jerry Conway to sign a couple of reprints of ASM 129 in my next con. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Scrolling down. Steven, thank you for stopping by, brother. Have a good night. Let me scroll up. Again, this is the no agenda chat. So we are talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. But I also did this because I wanted to tell everybody that we got the tank tops in. So these are the really nice tank tops. If anybody has ordered one of my shirts before, you know that they are like incredibly soft. The tanks actually run a little large. I wear it extra large in most shirts like this t-shirt right here. But in the tank, I go to a large just because it fits a little baggy for me. But then I have a limited number of the smaller sizes of that tank. And then I also have this one. This is the military green. And I actually have a limited number of these. I think there are only like 4 of these or something like that. So if you guys are interested in getting some t-shirts or some tanks, head over to RegieCollects.com, REGIE collects.com. And you can actually check out the good stuff that's over there. Scrolling down through the comments here, see what else you guys are talking about. Hey, Reggie, think about putting a 9.8 minimum on a modern book commission. So, here's the thing. I think what you would have to do is you would have to look at the books, right? First, look at the books and ask yourself, can these books realistically get a 9.8, right? Ask yourself that. Can they realistically get a 9.8? I think you also have to then look at the value of the book. How much is it going to cost, or what is the value of a 9.8 and a 9.6? Is that difference substantial, right? Because you just want to be aware of that. And then you also have to kind of look at what is the cost to get this book graded, right? So if the cost to get it clean, graded, all that kind of stuff is significant, right? And the value of a 9.6 is pretty minimal, then you can send it in, right? At a 9.8 and above. A lot of times what I do is I will send books in at a 9.6 and above, because even at a 9.6, the value tends to be there, right? Tends to be there. So I send it in at a 9.6, and a lot of people would say, well, your books will come back at a 9.6. That is actually not true. I've sent in lots of books at a 9.6, and they've actually mostly came back at 9.8. At least that was my experience. But I spent a lot of time looking at the various books, identifying which books were the best books to actually send in, and then clean and press and basically do that same process to make sure that I was only sending in the best of the best, right? And I think I was out of 50 books. I want to say that I only had 4 rejections. I want to say it was 3 or 4 rejections out of 50 books at a 9.6 and above, with the vast majority of them actually coming back at 9.8s. And I knew the statistics better when I had the books, but it's been 6 months since I did those. But yeah, not bad statistics, to be honest with you. But definitely you want to look at the book, look at the value, look at the cost, make a decision based upon that, and roll the dice, brother. Roll the dice. So let me see. Will a pressing remove a spine tick? No, it will not. It will not at all. Who is the coolest creator you've ever met? So here's the thing, man. I met a couple of creators when I was younger, right? So I have signatures from like Mark Bagley, um, Mark Silvestri, a couple other guys that I cannot think of at the moment. I don't remember any of Dale Keown. I don't remember any of those guys. I was maybe a freshman in high school or something like that when I met them. Don't remember any of them. As an adult, I don't really stand in lines to get signatures, to be honest. So the only true person that I've ever actually met that I remember was Stan Lee, right? That was basically it. So I let you down, Hillbilly. That was not a great answer. You have my apologies. And then here's the thing. I was actually going to get in line to meet Jim Lee at WonderCon in maybe June-ish, April-ish of 2019. I went back to my room and took a nap and missed him. So I just continue to let you down, brother. I am definitely sorry. Oh, man. What is this? Hey, Reggie, I recently commented on your Instagram post saying that I just got a Doctor Strange 169 5.0 CGC. Someone tried to offer me $30 for it. The comment was truncated. I can't see any more than that. And I feel like there was more there. So it just says ... So I can only see that. So you might want to repost that so I can actually finish hearing the thought. So Ken's a good guy. Ken's talented, man. He's talented. And I actually reached out to Ken. I sent him a message more than a year ago trying to get him on the show. This is when I was trying to get creators on the show. He didn't respond back. I only had 2,000 subscribers at that point. So maybe he was like, no, it's not worth my time. But he is definitely a talented guy. So what's your most memorable what's your most memorable find in the wild at an awesome price you couldn't believe? Mine is Tech 880, found at an LCS. So probably my most memorable find in the wild, I probably have a couple of them. One of them was Iron Man 55 first appearance of Thanos that was found in basically a Ziploc bag, along with on that trip also found Secret Wars number 8. Found ASM 300 that ended up coming back at like a 9.6 or something like that. Some pretty good grades. So in private collections, I've been able to find Daredevil number 1 that came back at a 7.0. It's a fantastic copy. X-Men number 2 was also found kind of sort of in a private collection in the wilds. Really, really nice copies of both of those books. So I've actually gotten really, really lucky and been able to find awesome books in the wild. Sometimes you go stretches with nothing, and then sometimes you actually hit it big a couple of times. So very thankful for all of those books. And I think all of them are still in the collection. Yeah, I think each one of those like books I just mentioned is still in the collection. The ASM 300 that I found actually was signed by Stan Lee, by the writer, and by Todd McFarlane. So that came back 9.6 yellow label from CGC. So scrolling down, my thoughts on him getting fired. Yeah, we actually talked about this yesterday on the Ready, Set, Go preview show. I think it's definitely a sad day when someone loses their job, especially when someone has actually been in an organization, I think for like 18 years or something like that. It's a very sad day. Anybody that celebrates a person getting fired, I struggle with that. Because, I assume that the man has a family. I assume that he has responsibilities. It seemed like his firing was somewhat sudden, in the sense that he had meetings that morning. He was scheduled to make some appearances, in the coming months. And then I think he also had some things that were scheduled on his schedule at the end of that day. At least those are the rumors. So I don't think that he was, I don't think that he knew it was coming. I don't think that he quit. I think that he was fired. And I think that that's definitely a sad day when someone loses their job. He may not have made the best decisions, at least in hindsight or in certain people's opinions. But the man has, anybody that has reached that level has had a very successful track record. And it's sad to see that it ended that way. My hope is that is not the end of him, right? That is my hope. So Scrolling down through the comments, Steve just says, I sent out 10 books to CGC. Good luck with those grades, my man. Good luck with those books when they actually come back. I have not opened your package yet, bro. It is sitting out in the room outside of me. I am going to get to it. It was a very, very busy weekend for me, but I am definitely going to get to it. So is there any modern book you would buy that isn't a 9.6 or a 9.8? You mean graded? So, I mean, generally speaking, I try to buy a lot of modern books raw, right? I'll buy a couple of copies of it, try to buy them raw. I don't know that I buy a whole lot of modern books that are actually graded. I'd have to think a little bit more about that. Actually, I have one behind me, actually, truth be told, but it's from the 90s, so it's technically still modern. But generally speaking, the newer a book is, the higher the grade should be for that book. If the book has come out in recent time, I try to get a raw copy of it and try to get a couple of copies of it so I can actually send it in to CGC, to actually get graded and all that other kind of stuff. But yeah, I think, a part of it depends upon the price of the book, right? There are some modern books that are actually pretty darn expensive that I would not get at a 9.8 or a 9.6. So it kind of depends. So when ASM 1000 comes out, how many covers are you getting? All of them. All of them. And I'm going to have a live stream and I'm going to show you all 1,000. Let's scroll down to the comment. Oh man, White Whale Comics is in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. I was thinking about you the other day when I saw John's Comics with Kids hanging out with Comics NYC in Los Angeles, and John had on your shirt, so I was thinking about you a little bit. So Secret Wars 8 signed by Shooter is dope. Try to get Zek's signature on that. I love Mike Zeck's signature on that comic. And if you can get a remark from him, my man, Hydra Collectibles out of the UK actually has a remark from Zeck where he has Secret Wars and he basically turned him into Venom. It is fantastic. And I think what Zeck said to Hydra Collectibles is that this was the first time anyone had asked him to do that. And it is a really nice comic. If you check him out, he is on YouTube. I don't think he has a video of this because he just launched his channel, but check that out, man. Check that out. That's worth it. Watch. So scrolling up through, did I pick up the new Wolverine? 4 times. I picked it up 4 times. You might see a video this week. Yeah, I picked it up 4 times and it was good. It was good. I'm actually probably going to reread it, and I'm actually going to go back and read the one shot with Wolverine and Blade because I think that there is something magical that may be happening there. So I want to go back and read that. Wolverine 1 was good. Wolverine 1 here's my thing. Wolverine series, and I think this is like his 7th or 8th series. They aren't good. His solo series are not good. And I like Wolverine. He is great on a team. His solo series, not good. The limited series that he had with the orange cover, good. The regular ongoing series, black cover, not good, right? But this series has the potential to be really, really good. And I don't know where it's going. I don't even care. I'm going to read it and I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. If you guys haven't read the new Wolverine, man, I encourage you to pick it up. It is a thick book. It is a thick book with bindery tears, but it is a good read. It is a good one. Let me scroll back down here. What do you think of Omega Red maybe showing up? I'm down with Omega Red, bro. I'm down. Is he back there? No, he's not back there. I actually went out and got to someone's question earlier today about the 9.8. I guess I did. I went out and got the first appearance of Omega Red at a 9.8. What you said other than a 9.8 or 9.6, so scratch that. But I went out and got that book because Omega Red is a dope character. Him facing off against Wolverine is a classic kind of battle. He is in some issues of Dawn of X right now, so I got a big kick out of that. If he's on the TV show, I think it's cool. I have nothing against that. Nothing against it. Sign me up for it. I got the heads up that Omega Red was actually making a possible appearance several months ago. I got a heads up from some people on that. And so I got a couple of extra books out there for raw and graded, to cover my bases. So Jerry says Wolverine was sweet. Yes, indeed it was. The Alex Ross cover is dope. Scrolling down through the comments here. Passed on the LCS last week. Pre-ordered. What is this? Gwen Stacy #2. That's cool. That's cool. X-Men 4 will be going up. The comment here. Is it worth getting a CGC ASM 41 at 3.0? Define worth it. Define worth it for me. Let me go to Go Collect real quick and see what they're talking about. What is this? Amazing Spider-Man. What's the number? Go back to my chat. What was the number? 41 out of 3.0. Spider-Man. Type this in real quick and let me see what we get. Out of 3.0. So first appearance Rhino, definitely a good book, man. I mean, my first copy that I had of that I actually won it as part of an auction, and my first copy was a 3.0 raw. It was no, it might have been like a 2.0 raw. It was rough. Yeah, I mean, if you can get that book, FMV for Amazing Spider-Man 41. Let me try to share my screen with you guys real quick. Let me take this off the screen and let me share my screen real quick. I'm actually on Go Collect right now. So right now I'm looking at, you can see here, Amazing Spider-Man number 41, first appearance of Rhino. This is a 3.0. FMV for this book is $150. You can see what some of the prices are right now. Someone paid $199, which is way too much. $194 here. Roughly, you can see the range here of kind of sort of $110 to $136-ish. Might not be a bad price, but definitely sub $150 if you can find it. And is it worth it? I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say whether it's worth it or not. You know, is it a book that you're interested in, a character that you're interested in? If so, then yeah, I think it's worth it. For me, it's worth it because I like Amazing Spider-Man. So bindery tears everywhere. Every single book had bindery tears. It was awful. Yeah, man. So talking about the Comic Tom Wolverine exclusive, it was dope. It was dope. It's a really good cover, and I'm super jealous. And I am definitely jealous of that. Let me just go. Got it for $160. Yeah, $150 would have been a better price. Maybe it included shipping. $150 in sub would have been better, but it is what it is. I have not seen any updates on the X-Men delays. This is actually something I talked about 2 weeks ago on the Ready, Set, Go preview show. I was talking about the giant size Magneto that was actually delayed by about 3 weeks, and they actually pulled forward the Nightcrawler giant size. I have not heard anything else about any delays. Fingers crossed that they actually can deliver at that adjusted deadline 3 weeks later. So we shall see. Let me scroll down. Yeah, here we go. Joel is talking about the Go Collect. They actually sent this survey out. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but a couple of people have told me about this survey. If you do the survey from Go Collect, they are actually giving 3 months away for free. Everyone check your email. I said more tutorial videos from Regie would be great. Thank you, bro. I definitely appreciate that. I think a couple of people actually said that that they appreciated the content that I was creating. So I definitely appreciate those endorsements. So Joel, thank you very much for that. Scrolling down, let me see what else you guys are talking about. What is this? Reggie, your Go Collect Wednesday shows are once again great content on a different station. Yeah, man, they're fun, man. It's a fun video to do. Because these bloggers they write some good content, man. They do some analyses that I might not necessarily have the time to do, and they highlight they have unique points of view that I appreciate, right? I don't always agree with them, but I think that the points of view, having a point of view is important, and especially if you can support it, it's even more important, right? But yeah, I think people are enjoying it, man. We are, hitting 1,500 views or something like that, after about 24 hours ish. So I think that's definitely a good sign that people are enjoying the content. Hopefully people continue to watch. I actually need to record that video for this week. So I need to do it soon. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying doing those videos for them. Hopefully I can pick up some more hosting studios, because that'll be pretty cool if I can pick up some more hosting. Maybe I'll be like Casey Kasem, or what's that other guy? The guy that does Dick Clark's show now. He just hosts everything. I'm cool with hosting. I'm cool with that. Let me scroll down through some of the comments here. Big Wheel says, I signed up for Comic Tom just so I can get Wolverine one. Nothing wrong with that because I think that was the only way that it was available, right? It was only available if you did his mystery box. So I have a feeling that his roster um swole up. It swole up during that time, or increased it, the size of it increased dramatically because it was a really good cover. It was a really good cover. If you're going to do a variant, do a really good one, and I think that he did. So he should definitely be proud of that. Thank you, Tina. I definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. Uh, man, so here's the thing. There is a lot of information that comes to me, right? A lot of people tell me stuff, and so I always have to balance what do I say publicly, and is somebody telling me something and like in confidence, can I mention it or can I not? Like, there's a lot of stuff people tell me, and they're like, please don't mention it, please don't mention it on camera, please don't say it on camera, don't read this part of the letter on camera. So I try to respect that, and so to some degree, maybe I'm a little overly cautious on that. My bad, bro. My bad. My bad. Reggie Seacrest, bro. Hosting is not easy, but somebody has to do it. Okay. No, it's fun, man. It's cool. It's an honor to have someone ask you to host a channel on to host something that they're doing on their channel. It's cool. It's an honor, and I have fun doing it. So scrolling down through the comments. All right. So let me see. I think we've run out of stuff. Hold on. Here we go. So there's a comment here. Talked to you a few weeks ago concerning a large, oh man, I lost it. Large amount of comics that I inherited, what to do with the comics that are less known and maybe even odd comics. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. You were actually not the only person that's reached out to me recently to talk about the inherited comics, but hopefully I was able to provide you some insight that was helpful, or at least allowed you to go in a direction. And if memory serves, I think you decided to actually sell some of the books on eBay. And I want to say, if you're the correct person and you actually have a copy of AF-15 that I still would like, again, a couple of people reached out to me, so I could be mixing my people up. All right, let me see what else you guys are talking about. All right, I think I've reached the end of this thing. What is this? What do you use to hang your, go to my website, let me go here. I'm gonna go to my own website right now, and I will answer all of your questions. This is probably one of the most asked questions that I get at least once a week, So let's go ahead. We're actually going to go over to my website, and I will show you. So this is the website here, RegieCollects.com. If you go to partners, there is a page here. And on this page, partners actually give you guys a bunch of links, discount codes, and that kind of stuff. The one you're looking for right here is Collector Mount. Collector Mount, you can actually save 15% on your order by using my code RegieCollects. The link is right here to Collector Mount's website. So you grab that code, you head over there, you do what you have to do. But then there's all kinds of other codes here. You can get 30 days free from Go Collect. There's a CGC affiliate link. There's Patreon down here. There's a 9.8 subscription service. So if you're interested in getting, modern books at 9.8, you can actually go with this service. They will go out, they will find the books, they will try to get a 9.8 for you. And if you use my code, you can actually save $25 off of that. And then there's MIP sheets is here as well. So a couple of these I get like an affiliate fee. So CGC, I get an affiliate fee. Patreon is definitely mine. I get an affiliate fee from the 9.8 subscription service. Everything else, I get nothing off of it. I get nothing off of those others. There's just discounts that people have provided me, and I've posted them up here for people to be able to check out. So but let me go here. While I'm here, I'll show you guys some of the new stuff. This is one of the new shirts. This is actually the shirt that I'm wearing right now. Hopefully you guys can actually see that. Let me make sure. Yep, you can. The green shirt there is the one that I'm actually wearing as we speak. It is military green, really nice shirt. And then this is the new shirt. This is the Comic Soldier tank that just dropped. These are the two new shirts that have been put up. And so you can kind of see here some of the stuff that is available for folks to actually check out on the website. That is my wife right there. That is Kelly. It's my wife, and her chair is behind me, still empty because she has not come here to sit down. Let me see. I think I lost the chat. I think I just lost the chat. Oh, there we go. Oh man. What does that say? Yo, Reggie, recently purchased ASM 50 CGC signed by John Romita Sr. Very nice. Congrats on that, Connor. That's definitely a dope book, man. Definitely a dope book. I have the exact same book, exact same grade, signed by the exact same man. So definitely a good book right there. A few of those Galactus prints. Yeah, that print, if you guys can see that over my shoulder right there, that is a print that was actually done by a college student, a really, really talented college student by the name of C. Bird. I think I have 4 left. I think I have 4 of those left. Those are also on the website as well. So if you guys are interested in that, that stuff is there. Good luck, Jamie. Let me know if you have any issues. Joel says I can vouch for collector mount. Build something myself. Yeah, they are it's a really good stand and a good mount. Some people have expressed that they've had some issues with them. I've been using them for like 2 years. I've had no problems. I have 14 for that wall, and then I have another, I think another 14 on this wall. I could count, but that would be just embarrassing. But I have a ton of them here in the room, and I've never had any issues with them. They're actually really, really good products. So what LCSs do I recommend in the area? Comic Figure and Addicts is in Union City. Comic Figures and Addicts is in Union City. Crush Comics is also another comic shop that I go to. The Bay Area is actually really, really big. So those are the 2 that are in closest proximity to me. Depending upon where you're staying, I can make other recommendations. If you're in Berkeley, there are shops I can recommend there. If you're in the South Bay, which is like San Jose, I can make some recommendations there. So you if you're in like the peninsula, which is like Redwood City and stuff like that, let me know. I can make recommendations. If you send me a message on Instagram at Regie Collects, I can definitely hook you up. But there's a lot of really great shops. Some are better than others. It also depends on what you're looking for. But if you hit me up, I can definitely give you some guidance on which shops to go to, because I've been to a lot of them, if not all of them. Let me see. What is this? I've only just joined. What site is that? RegieCollects.com. Regie Collects, REGIE collects.com. That there is a print back there. They are all signed and numbered by the very talented artist. That thing right there, it's a black and white print that was done. I ship it out flat, first class mail. I actually just mailed one yesterday because someone bought one, but those are available on the site. I want to say they're $25 or something like that. But if you go to RegieCollects.com and hit shop, you can actually find all kinds of stuff. So there you go. Thank you, Tina. Definitely appreciate that. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap this thing up. My voice is getting a little tired. I want to thank you guys for, before I go, the Go Collect book for the week. So you definitely want to stay tuned to all the videos that are getting released from the channel this week, always at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Thursday. This is one of the books that is going to be given away this week as part of my relationship with Go Collect. It is What If number 10, 9.4 white pages, first appearance of Jane Foster as Thor, not in continuity. It is a newsstand. It is a dope book. So stay tuned to the channel for all the videos that are going to be coming out. And let me see. What was this? The first, when you came back into comics, what was the first key that you aimed for? Oh man, you're taking me back, bro. Oh, first I had to spend some time figuring out what a key was. Because when I came back, I realized that the lingo had changed. I want to say one of the very first keys that I got in those early days was Amazing Spider-Man 129. That was one of the early keys that I remember getting. Within that first year, I also was able to pick up X-Men 1, Giant Size X-Men 1, ASM 50. Those were some of the bigger keys that I picked up. I was able to pick up Amazing Spider-Man 300 that had been color touched, much to my chagrin. Was able to get another ASM 300 that was ultimately signed by Stan Lee and others. So yeah, that first year was a big year for me, man. There was a lot of FOMO. Year one for me was a lot of FOMO, a lot of fear of missing out video on the channel, and it motivated me to go after a lot of stuff really aggressively. And thankfully, I was able to pick up a lot of stuff before prices started getting out of control. You know. But those I picked up Fantastic 448, 49, 50. I picked up a lot of stuff in my first year, to be honest with you, because I came back into the hobby And I was in a position as an adult to be able to buy all those books that I always wanted as a kid when I never had the money. I never had the money to do this stuff when I was younger. And so to come back and have the financial resources to buy these books that I've always wanted, and to have that fear of missing out, I bought a lot of stuff, and I have a couple of regrets. I have a video coming out soon that'll talk about some of that stuff, but it was a really good first year for me, and it was probably halfway through the second year where I felt like my collection was in a respectable place. It was that second year where I felt like I was in a really respectable place with my collection, not from outside perspective, but I felt like I had picked up some really awesome books for my own collection. And I felt like I was in a position where I could call myself a true collector. That was a big year. It's a big year for me. So, all right. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I may be back on later this week. Maybe we'll do another no agenda chat, because there seems like there's a lot of other questions that are coming in. So maybe we can do another no agenda chat. Not tomorrow, probably, because I have soccer duty. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram, which is my preferred method of communication, and that is RegieCollects. And if you need to send me an email, you can certainly do that at Regie@RegieCollects.com. No matter how you go about it, if you need me, I am not too hard to find. Take care.